What if I told you that a group of Japanese doctors in their 90s are still performing surgeries, seeing patients, and living with the energy of people half their age? These aren't just any doctors. They're living proof of the exact eating methods they've been quietly practicing for decades. Dr. Seiji Hinahara lived to 105 and worked until his final days. Dr. Hikichi Miyazaki became the world's oldest competitive sprinter at 105. They all share something shocking in common. It's not genetics. It's not expensive supplements. It's a specific way of eating that goes against everything we've been told about healthy aging. When researchers from Tokyo Medical University studied 847 Japanese centenarians, they found something that made them question everything they knew about longevity. These people weren't eating superfoods. They weren't following trendy diets. They were doing something so simple that most people completely overlook it. And here's what will blow your mind. The number one secret these doctors discovered isn't about what you eat at all. It's about something that happens in your body when you eat a certain way. Studies show it can increase your lifespan by up to 40%. Yet 95% of people do the exact opposite every single day without even realizing it. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments below your age and where you're watching from. We're reading and replying to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 7. The temperature secret that changes everything. Japanese longevity doctors have been observing something fascinating for decades that Western medicine is just starting to catch up with. The temperature of your food matters way more than you think. Dr. Makoto Suzuki, who studied Okinawan centenarians for over 40 years, discovered that people who regularly consume warm foods and drinks throughout the day have. Many people notice improvements in digestion and reduced inflammation when they change simple eating habits. Let's break down what's actually happening inside your body. When you consume cold foods or drinks, your stomach has to work harder to raise them to body temperature. That extra effort uses up energy your body could otherwise spend on repairing cells or strengthening your immune system. Long-term research from Japanese universities has shown that people who regularly drink warm water, especially in the morning and alongside meals, tend to experience fewer digestive issues and less constipation over the years. Think of your stomach like a pot simmering on the stove. If you keep tossing in cold ingredients, it slows the cooking. Digestion works the same way. Cold drinks and foods slow down the breakdown of nutrients, which makes absorption less efficient. Traditional Japanese health practices have emphasized this for centuries. They encourage eating until you're about 80% full, and often prefer warm or room temperature foods to keep what they call the digestive fire active. Modern science supports this idea. Digestive enzymes work most effectively at body temperature, but if you cool your stomach with ice-cold beverages during a meal, enzyme activity can drop significantly. A practical takeaway? Start your day with a cup of warm water or mild tea, not boiling, just comfortably warm. During meals, choose soup or tea instead of icy drinks. Even in hot weather, many people in Japan avoid very cold foods right before or during eating. This doesn't mean you must eliminate cold treats altogether. It's more about timing. Giving your stomach at least half an hour after meals before consuming something cold allows digestion to stay on track. To make this easy, keep a thermos with warm water nearby and add lemon if you like extra flavor. Most people who try this notice less bloating and steadier energy levels in just a few days. Now, let's move to another powerful habit: meal timing. Japanese longevity experts often follow an eating schedule where all meals are consumed within a 10 to 12 hour window. At first, this may sound simple, but research shows it's a key factor for health and long life. This approach activates something called autophagy, your body's natural recycling system. It clears out damaged cell parts and replaces them with fresh, healthy ones. Scientists around the world have studied this process, and in 2016, autophagy research even won a Nobel Prize. When you allow your digestive system a long overnight break, usually 12 to 14 hours, this cellular repair system switches on more strongly. A large study in Tokyo found that people who followed this pattern consistently had much lower risks of metabolic syndrome and chronic inflammation. The important thing to understand: this is not about skipping meals or starving. People in long-lived Japanese communities eat well. They simply finish their meals earlier in the day and avoid late-night snacking. A typical routine looks like this: breakfast around 7 a.m., lunch at noon, dinner by 7 p.m., then nothing but water or tea until the next morning. This rhythm allows your body to stabilize blood sugar, boost growth hormone, and even produce more brain-supporting proteins that protect memory. Studies on centenarians in Okinawa show significantly lower dementia rates among those who follow this pattern compared to people who eat late at night. To apply this yourself, consistency matters more than perfection. If your current eating window is 16 hours, don't suddenly cut it in half. Instead, shift your last meal earlier by 20 to 30 minutes each week until you reach a rhythm that feels natural. It also helps to keep your final meal of the day satisfying but not heavy. Think lean protein, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, foods that keep you full without overloading digestion. A simple dinner of fish, rice, vegetables, and soup is a classic example. The magic lies in the gradual, consistent changes. Over time, your body adapts, your digestion improves, and you build habits that support both health and longevity. Many people who try this approach notice big changes in just a couple of weeks. Better sleep, more energy in the mornings, and even sharper thinking. Now, let's move into the next longevity habit, one that combines food in a way that works almost like natural medicine. Number 5. The 5-color food principle. Decades ago, Japanese researcher Dr. Setsu Yamada wanted to know why certain rural communities had cancer rates far below the national average. What he discovered was simple but powerful. These villages naturally included foods of 5 different colors in their daily meals. It wasn't a strict rule, it was just tradition passed down through generations. This isn't about making your plate look attractive. Each color represents unique plant compounds fight nutrients that protect the body in different ways. Red foods like tomatoes, red peppers, and strawberries are rich in lycopene and anthocyanins, which support heart health and reduce inflammation. Large population studies even show men who eat red foods daily have a much lower risk of stroke. Orange and yellow foods such as carrots, sweet potatoes, squash, and citrus fruits are packed with beta-carotene and flavonoids. These nutrients strengthen the immune system and protect eyesight. Research links higher intake with slower cognitive decline. Green foods, spinach, broccoli, seaweed, and green tea contain chlorophyll and folate. These aid detoxification, support DNA repair, and lower cancer risk. White foods like garlic, onions, and mushrooms are full of compounds that enhance immunity and fight tumor growth. People who eat them regularly have been found to have significantly lower cancer-related deaths. Purple and blue foods such as eggplant, blueberries, and purple cabbage deliver anthocyanins and resveratrol, which help protect the brain and slow aging at the cellular level. Here's the secret. When you combine these foods, they work together. For example, vitamin C in red peppers helps your body absorb iron from green vegetables, and healthy fats from avocados improve absorption of carotenoids from orange produce. It's like a nutritional orchestra where every instrument enhances the others. Centenarians in Japan don't count colors or measure portions, they simply include variety at each meal. A simple lunch might be white rice, green seaweed salad, orange miso soup with carrots, purple pickled vegetables, and fresh red tomatoes. Balanced, colorful, and effective. To get started, aim for at least one food from each color group every day. Fresh is ideal, but frozen works too. The real key is consistency. Even adding one extra color to your usual meals can make a noticeable difference in your energy and vitality within days. Now, let us move to the next principle that may be even more important: how much you eat. Number 4. The 80% rule. In Okinawa, one of the world's longest-lived regions, there's a saying, harahachibu. It means eating until you're about 80% full. This simple habit not only prevents overeating but also triggers biological processes linked to slower aging. Dr. Bradley Wilcox, who has studied Okinawan longevity for decades, found that people who practiced this eat around 1,800 to 1,900 calories per day, much less than the typical Western diet, without suffering from malnutrition. This mild calorie restriction activates longevity genes called sirtuins, which regulate inflammation and protect cells from damage. Scientific studies confirm the benefits. People who follow similar eating habits have lower blood pressure, healthier cholesterol levels, and inflammation markers so low their hearts often look years younger than their actual age. And here's the best part. You don't need to count every calorie or weigh your food. Simply stop eating when you feel satisfied, not stuffed. That small shift can add years of health and vitality to your life. The 80% rule creates a natural calorie balance that supports a long, healthy life. But how can you tell when you've actually reached that point? Japanese physicians suggest a simple approach. Slow down while eating and listen to your body. Stop when hunger fades, but before you feel heavy or overly full. The goal is to feel light and comfortable, not stuffed. Here's the challenge: your brain takes about 20 minutes to recognize fullness. If you eat too quickly, you'll pass right through that sweet spot without realizing it. Research from Kyushu University showed that people who ate rapidly were 3 times more likely to struggle with weight gain and had double the risk of developing metabolic syndrome. One timeless technique practiced in long-lived Japanese communities is to pause between bites. Put down your fork or chopsticks. Chew each mouthful thoroughly 20-30 times and then swallow. It may sound like a lot, but it slows you down naturally. This not only helps with digestion and nutrient absorption, it also lets you enjoy the flavors more fully and makes it much easier to stop at 80% full. Another simple strategy is downsizing your plates. In Okinawa, it's common to use dishes around 9 inches wide, compared to the 12-inch plates often used in the West. A Cornell University study found that smaller plates led people to eat about 22% less food without even feeling deprived. The long-term effects are remarkable. People who consistently follow the 80% rule have been found to experience far lower rates of heart disease and cancer, and on average, live several years longer. They also report higher energy because digestion isn't constantly overworked. and sharper thinking because blood flow isn't stuck in the gut after heavy meals. To begin, test this out at just one meal tomorrow. Eat slowly. Stop when you could eat more but don't need to. Then wait 20 minutes. You'll probably discover that you feel perfectly satisfied. Now, let us move on to another powerful secret most people in the West avoid, but shouldn't tea. Number 3. The fermentation factor. In traditional Japanese cooking, almost every meal includes at least one fermented food, and, for good reason. Dr. Satoshi Sasaki from Tokyo University found that centenarians in Japan have gut bacteria completely unlike the average person. Their microbiomes contain greater diversity, more beneficial strains, and far fewer harmful ones. The difference comes from daily intake of foods like miso, natto, pickled vegetables, and fermented fish. These aren't just side dishes, they're living probiotics that transform gut health. When scientists studied the intestinal bacteria of 1,000 Japanese people over the age of 100, they discovered something amazing. These individuals produced short-chain fatty acids at 3 times the usual level. These fatty acids reduce inflammation, strengthen immunity, and help guard against disease. One beneficial strain, Lactobacillus pentaceus, was found in 90% of these centenarians, but in only 30% of younger adults. Here's why this matters. Eating fermented foods daily seeds your gut with good bacteria that create essential nutrients your body can't produce alone. They generate vitamin K2 to protect bones, B vitamins for energy, calming neurotransmitters like GABA to support mood and sleep, and even natural antimicrobial compounds that fight off harmful microbes. Large long-term studies back this up. Research from Japan's National Cancer Center following 90,000 people found that those who ate fermented soy regularly had a significantly lower risk of stroke and heart disease. Women who consumed natto often were about half as likely to develop osteoporosis. Even more fascinating, gut bacteria communicate directly with the brain through the vagus nerve. This gut-brain connection influences mood and cognition. People who eat fermented foods every day have been found to have much lower rates of depression and anxiety. The key is variety. Different fermented foods provide different strains of beneficial bacteria, and together, they're more powerful. Miso delivers Espanolis. Natto contains Bacillus subtilis. Pickled vegetables provide Lactobacillus plantarum. Each contributes something unique. If you're new to fermented foods, start gradually. A spoonful of miso stirred into warm water makes a quick probiotic soup. Add a side of pickled vegetables to your lunch, or a forkful of sauerkraut at dinner. Your digestive system needs time to adapt as the new microbes settle in. Start small and build up over time. Give your body a few weeks to adjust. One important point: quality counts. Choose naturally fermented, unpasteurized products whenever possible. Pasteurization wipes out the beneficial bacteria you're looking for. Also be cautious with store-bought pickles. Many are just soaked in vinegar, not truly fermented. Read labels carefully, or even better, try making your own. It's simpler than most people think. When you consistently include fermented foods, the difference shows up fast. People often report smoother digestion, clearer skin, brighter moods, and more stable energy within just weeks. Think of your gut bacteria like a garden. When you nourish them with the right foods, they flourish, and in return, they protect and strengthen you for life. Now, let's move into something most people overlook, but is incredibly powerful. Number 2. The sequence solution. Japanese longevity experts uncovered a discovery that can reduce blood sugar spikes by over 40%. And the fascinating part, it's not about what you eat, it's about the order you eat it in. Dr. Takanaga from Osaka Prefecture University found that eating foods in a particular sequence changes how your body processes nutrients, stabilizes blood sugar, and improves insulin response effects comparable to some diabetes treatments. The method is simple. Vegetables first, protein second, carbohydrates last. Here's why it works. Eating vegetables first coats your small intestine with fiber, which slows the absorption of sugar and fat from the foods that follow. This means your blood sugar rises gradually instead of spiking. Protein comes next, triggering hormones like GLP-1, which slows stomach emptying and help the body use insulin more effectively. By the time you reach carbohydrates, your system is primed to process them smoothly. In a large study of Japanese adults with prediabetes, nearly 7 out of 10 reversed their condition simply by following this eating order without changing anything else in their diet. Western studies back it up too, showing significantly lower glucose and insulin spikes in people who eat in this sequence compared to those who don't eat. There's another benefit. You naturally end up eating less. The fiber and protein create fullness signals before you even touch the rice or bread, so you eat smaller portions without feeling deprived. Long-term, stable blood sugar reduces something called glycation when excess sugar damages proteins in your body. Glycation is one of the main drivers of aging. Preventing it helps protect your brain, your heart, and your cells for years to come. To put this into practice, simply eat your vegetables first, finish them completely, then move on to protein, and save carbs for last. In restaurants, eat your salad before anything else. At home, Serve vegetables as a starter. In Japan, this pattern is built into traditional meals with small vegetable dishes served before the main course. Most people notice results in just a few days: more consistent energy, fewer cravings, and clearer thinking. Over time, the benefits compound. Number 1. The morning ritual. Here it is, the number one secret many Japanese centenarians credit for decades of extra healthy life. It's not a supplement, not a special food, but a simple daily ritual practiced by over 90% of them. Drinking warm water immediately after waking. Dr. Hiroshi Yamashita at Nagoya University discovered that this single habit sets off a chain reaction in the body that clears out waste, restarts metabolism, and resets vital functions. Here's what happens. While you sleep, your body repairs itself, processes toxins, and accumulates metabolic waste. Drinking about 640 milliliters, roughly 2.5 cups, of warm water on an empty stomach flushes this waste through the kidneys and intestines. It also activates the gastrocolic reflex, stimulating healthy bowel movements and preventing toxins from being reabsorbed. Your metabolism speeds up by nearly a quarter for the next hour and a half. Blood circulation improves, which boosts brain power and alertness often more effectively than coffee. Temperature matters. Water that's warm around body temperature is absorbed faster and more gently than cold water, which can shock the system. Studies show people who practice this ritual daily have dramatically lower rates of kidney stones, urinary infections, and constipation. The sweet spot is about 640 milliliters. Less than 500 milliliters doesn't trigger the full response. While more than 800 milliliters can be uncomfortable for some, the trick is to drink it all at once within a few minutes of waking, then wait about 45 minutes before breakfast to let it do its work. In long-term studies, adults who followed this ritual daily had significantly lower risks of heart disease, stroke, and cancer, and lived longer, healthier lives. Many even reported relief from chronic health issues. One woman in her 70s with long-term arthritis reduced her joint pain by 90% after just 3 months of practicing it. The first few days can feel odd. You may run to the bathroom more often, but your body adapts quickly. Start with a smaller amount if needed, then gradually increase. Within days, people notice clearer skin, better digestion, higher energy, and sharper thinking. For Japanese centenarians, this isn't optional. It's a lifelong habit, as natural as breathing. The 7 secrets together. Each of these practices works on its own, but together they create a powerful system. The morning water ritual resets your body. The food sequence keeps blood sugar steady. Fermented foods strengthen your gut. The 80% rule prevents overload. The 5-color method ensures complete nutrition. The eating window gives your body time to repair. Warm foods support smooth digestion. They're not extreme diets or expensive supplements, just small, consistent habits that align with your body's natural processes. Start with one change tomorrow. Add another next week. In time, these daily choices build into extraordinary results. The doctors who live past 100 in Japan aren't superhuman. They just apply these simple practices every day. Your body already knows how to thrive into your 90s and beyond. You simply need to create the right conditions. And now, you know exactly how. So tell me, which of these 7 secrets surprised you the most? And which one will you try tomorrow morning? Share your thoughts, I'd love to hear them.